Modern card prices at all-time highs. It seems like Panini, Topps, Whatnot Breakers, card resellers are all fighting to see who can print the most money and charge the most for a box of cards, making it really hard for most collectors to be able to buy a box of the sports cards. So in this video, we're going to go over another option that you can do instead of buying these ridiculous card box prices. So I was recently at a card show and I saw someone selling some boxes of cards from the 80s, the 90s, as we all famously understand it to be the junk wax era. But I saw this 1987 box of baseball cards and it was only $100 I paid for it, and decided that I would share it with you guys. We'll do a little history, as well as I'm going to prove to you guys why, of all the junk wax era or years, that this is one of the best baseball card boxes that you can buy from what's considered the junk wax era. 1987 Donruss baseball cost you between $80 to $120 per box. Complete set of 1987 Donruss baseball cards contains 660 cards. Donruss' first baseball card production was in 1981. The first Donruss rated rookies started in 1984. However, the iconic rated rookie that we all love and have grown to know over time first started in 1985. So that logo you see in the top right, that first started in 1985. So there's a little history for you guys on Donruss and the rated logos that we all love. And if this is something that does not interest you, you can always go buy a box of modern sports cards, and you're definitely going to need a bigger budget. Before we can show you what cards we got in our 1987 Donruss baseball, need to go over a little history of what happened in 1987, starting with the 1987 World Series, Twins versus Cardinals. Two Twins players would hit grand slams in the 1987 World Series. In 1987, Twins would become only the second team in MLB World Series where two players from the same team would hit a grand slam. The only other team to have two players from the same team hit a grand slam in a World Series was the 1956 Yankees. Those two players were Yogi Berra and Moose Skowron. Both players would win another World Series with the Twins in 1991. One of those players hit a grand slam was Dan Gladden, the Dazzle Man. He was traded from the Giants to the Twins in 1987. Dan Gladden would hit a grand slam in Game 1 versus the St. Louis Cardinals in the fourth inning. Player to hit a grand slam would be Kent Herbert. Kent would be runner-up for Rookie of the Year in 1982 behind winner Cal Ripken Jr. Kent Herbert, or Herbie, would hit his grand slam in Game 6 versus the Cardinals in the sixth inning. Fun, cool facts I found, wanted to share with you guys. Al Michaels was the ABC play-by-play commentator. Just shows you how long Al Michaels has been doing the commentating, all the way back to the 1987 World Series, Twins versus Cardinals. This was the last World Series where the game would start earlier than prime time in the U.S. First World Series where the home team won every game. That's right, every home game was won by that team's prospective home. And this would be a World Series that would go to the seventh game. It's also the first World Series to feature games played indoors. The Twins franchise won the World Series in 1924 as the Washington Senators before relocating from Washington, D.C. to Minnesota in 1961. Twins would win their first World Series as the Minnesota Twins in Game 7, 4-2. And while you might think that it might have been the Dazzle Man or Herbie that might get 1987 World Series MVP, that would not be correct. You might think it would be the superstar Kirby Puckett or Frank Viola who would be the World Series MVP. And if you thought that it was the superstar Kirby Puckett, you would be wrong. The 1987 World Series MVP would be Mr. Sweet Music Frank Viola. There was a air card you could get in the Donruss. If you look, there's 3 Barry Bonds listed on there. Which one is the correct Barry Bonds? Left, middle, or right? If you guess far right, you would be correct. Barry Bonds is on the far right, one of the GOATs of baseball. The 2 pink ones are not Barry Bonds, but there was a misprint where they would put Barry Bonds at the bottom. So that's something to keep an eye on if you were to open one of the 1987 Donruss different sets. The other thing I wanted to talk about on the 1987 Donruss set was I love the black border. You can see on the Barry Bonds card on the far right, but you can see on the edges how it shows a white line. So there is a lot of times where it's very hard in this set to get like a PSA 10 or even maybe a PSA 9 just because of the black border, and it shows everything stands out, like any imperfections or white edging will definitely stand out on the 1987 Donruss baseball cards. The 1987 Donruss should be changed to underrated rated rookies. You will see in here that the 1987 baseball is one of the most underrated baseball sets of all time. In fact, the 1987 Donruss might be the best baseball rookie set you could get. One of the best years for rookies that you could ever get. And you will see how many superstars and studs were in the 1987 baseball. We will go over these 1987 Donruss and the top rookies, but you have to understand something about these rookies. When Donruss did these cards, they didn't always put rated rookie, even if someone was a rookie. They would pick the top guys they thought were going to be studs or stars, and they would put their rated rookie on those players. So there's a lot of times where guys might turn out to be a really good baseball player, and it would be their rookie card, but it wouldn't have the rated rookie logo on the card because Donruss did not put the rated rookie logo on all rookie cards, only the ones that they thought were going to be studs. And it's kind of interesting because there's a lot of good players in here that don't have the rated rookie logo, but all of these players are rookies, okay? We'll start first with my favorite player of all time, the greatest athlete to ever live, definitely greatest multi-sport athlete, and Bo Jackson. Bo knows, got the rated rookie logo on there. Love that card. Mark McGwire, we all know about him and his career, but, you know, I still think he did a lot for baseball and what he dedicated to it. Greg Maddux, Rafael Palomero, Barry Bonds, super stud Barry Bonds. Too bad I don't have that rated rookie logo, but that is his rookie card. Will Clark, another guy that played for a long time and stud. He don't have the rated rookie logo, but that is his rookie card. Barry Larkin, that's his rookie card. John Crook, that's his rookie card as well. Going over the next page of our top rookies, start out with Kevin Brown, Doug Drabeck, Bobby Bonilla, David Cohn, BJ Surhoff, Randy Myers, Devin White, and Benito Santiago. That's right. All of those are their rookie cards. That year, in 1987, Mark McGwire would be Rookie of the Year. Just wanted to put a few fun little facts in here. McGwire played college baseball at USC, where he was a teammate of Randy Johnson, Jack Del Rio, and Rodney Peete. That's right. Raiders' old coach, Jack Del Rio, played baseball with Mark McGwire back in the day. McGwire was named College Baseball Player of the Year by Sporting News in 1984. Mark McGwire, Big Mac, hit 49 home runs, 118 RBI, and a batting average of .289 to win Rookie of the Year in 1987. McGwire held the home run record for Major League Baseball rookies until Rookie of the Year Aaron Judge broke it in 2017 with 52 home runs. And then Rookie of the Year Pete Alonso had 53 home runs in 2019. So Mark McGwire held the Rookie of the Year with 49 home runs for a very, very long time. I mean, look at that. I mean, 30 years. He held the record at 49 home runs for a rookie for 30 years. And despite what we want to think and kind of some of the stuff that went on with some of these players and the stuff they were doing to get jacked up, it's crazy to think that his home run record was held for that long. So need to tip our hat to Mark McGwire and how long he held that record. Here's your 1987 regular season MVPs. Coming up first, Andre Dawson. The Hawk, or Awesome Dawson, would sign with the Cubs going into the 1987 season. The Hawk would hit 49 home runs, 137 RBI, and a batting average of .287 in 1987. Andre won the Rookie of the Year in 1977 with only 19 home runs and a batting average of .282. Pretty crazy he won the Rookie of the Year with only 19 home runs, and Mark McGwire had those 49. The other one was George Bell. George Bell would hit 47 home runs and 134 RBI, batting average of .308 in 1987. Bell had an average to above average career in his 12 years in the MLB. Bell might be best known for his last year in the MLB, where he tried to punch a Red Sox pitcher in 1993. If you guys haven't seen that video, you guys need to go check out that highlight video where George Bell tried to punch that Red Sox pitcher in 1993.
In that Tiger series. Watch out. Oh, yeah. There goes George. And Seeley. Oh, well, I'll tell you one thing. There we go.
1987 also had a lot of good players that were non-rookies. Here's a list of some of those good players you could get in the 1987 Donruss baseball set. Nolan Ryan, Kirby Puckett, rest in peace Pete Rose, Ricky Henderson, George Brett, Ryan Sandberg, Cal Ripken, Tony Gwynn, Roger Clemens, Darryl Strawberry. On the next page, Don Mattingly, Jose Canseco, Reggie Jackson, Tom Seaver, Dwight Gooden, Dave Parker, Wade Boggs, Ozzie Smith, Mike Schmidt, and Fred McGriff. Pretty crazy when you think about like how many good players were in baseball back then. You kind of just go through and you look at like all the rookies, all the good players back then. I mean, 1987 baseball, there were some studs and there and also rookies that you could hit. So pretty nice so far list of players that you could get. 1987 Donruss also had the Diamond Kings. I personally always liked some of the Diamond Kings cards, but I know not everybody was a fan of them. Back in 1987, it was a 26 card set. I'm going to list some of the best players or some of the good ones I kind of liked. You got Eric Davis, George Brett, Ozzie Smith, Del Murphy, Darryl Strawberry, Kirby Puckett, Jose Canseco, Dave Winfield, Roger Clemens. The very last one isn't a Diamond King set, but it's Roberto Clemente, who wasn't one of the Diamond Kings, but it was the master card for the puzzle pieces that you would get to build the puzzle, and the puzzle would be of that card, Roberto Clemente. So that's pretty cool, Roberto Clemente. Last segment before I show you what cards I got in the 1987 Donruss will be the top 10 most recent PSA 10 sales for 1987 Donruss baseball cards over $100. And some of these numbers and prices are going to probably surprise you like they did me. So stay tuned for the top 10 most recent PSA 10 sales. But first, we have some breaking news. Card prices skyrocket. Panini will charge you an arm. Topps will charge you a leg, while it's the Whatnot Breaker that's going to charge you an arm and a leg. Up first for 1987 Donruss Baseball PSA 10 recent sales. All of these will be PSA 10s. PSA 10 of Mark McGwire, his rated rookie card, with a population of only 1,967. Most recent sale was on September 20th, 2025 for $227. September 16th for $160. In 1987, he had 49 home runs, a batting average of .289. He played from 1986 to 2001, totaling 16 years. All of these stats will be from the current year of 1987, and they're stats for only that year, unless it's a player that had already retired and wasn't currently playing during the year of 1987. The next sale, we have Bo Knows he was the greatest multi-sport athlete with his rated rookie from 1987 PSA 10 population 1,617. On September 20th, 2025, a PSA 10 sold for $385. September 14th, a PSA 10 sold for $489. 1987, he had 22 home runs and a batting average of .235. Bo Knows he played from 1986 until 1994. Was only 8 years. Unfortunately, his career was short-lived in both football and baseball from his football injury when he got tackled by a Cincinnati Bengal. Bo Jackson was my favorite athlete growing up. I remember the injury like it was yesterday. He was running back for the Raiders, playing against the Cincinnati Bengals. He got tackled, messed up his hip. Didn't even look that like it was that bad of an injury at first, but unfortunately, Bo Jackson never recovered fully, and the hip injury always affected his future with both baseball and football. But I'll tell you what, man, that dude was a super athlete. You ever get a chance, go watch some highlights of him. That guy was so fast and such an amazing athlete. I mean, he was destined to be like a Michael Jordan and just destined for greatness. But that injury really affected him, and it even affected me as a young kid when it happened. I was pretty devastated, especially being a Raiders fan. All right, next up, we have Greg Maddux and his rated rookie, PSA 10, population 2,989. On September 20th, PSA 10 sold for $332. September 14th, PSA 10 sold for $385. He had a whip of 1.638. His HR 9 was 1. He played from 1986 until 2008. Totaling 23 years. He was a very good pitcher, and you could tell by his PSA 10 sales that very sought after player even still to this day. Up next, we have one of the all-time GOATs of baseball, Barry Bonds' rookie card for Donruss. This card does not have the rated rookie logo, but this is one of Barry Bonds' rookie cards. PSA 10 pop count 1,966. September 16th had a sell for $202. September 12th had a sell for $227 for PSA 10. His rookie year, he had 25 home runs, a batting average of .261. He played an amazing 22 years from 1986 to 2007. Played on 2 different teams, the Pirates and the San Francisco Giants. Shout out to one of the GOATs, Barry Bonds. So far, we're a few cards in. I don't know if you guys have recognized a theme, but if you look at some of these pop counts for PSA 10s versus, even modern cards, I would say most people analysis to call that era junk wax. Some of these PSA 10 counts are actually lower than even some of the modern cards in today's sports cards with football and basketball and baseball. So pretty interesting. If you look at the PSA 9 sales on some of these like Barry Bonds, yeah, they're like pretty ridiculously high. And maybe it was just this year because of the black border and then being so hard to create a PSA 10. But I was actually so far pretty impressed with how low a lot of these PSA 10 pop counts are, and you'll see it gets even better for a few cards coming up. Next up, we have one of the Diamond Kings, Darryl Strawberry Diamond Kings, PSA 10, pop count of only 33. That's right, there's only 33 of these Darryl Strawberry PSA 10s for Diamond Kings. Pretty amazing to be this old, almost 40 years old, and only a pop count of 33 for PSA 10s. Pretty impressive. We had a sell for $299 on September 15th, and also on September 15th had a sell for $175. So pretty big jump. But considering there's only 33 of these PSA 10s, I'd say might be nice to get your hands on one of those guys. That year in 1987, Darryl Strawberry had 39 home runs, a batting average of .284. He played a total of 17 years from 1983 until 1999. Next up, we got Roberto Clemente. This is his puzzle card, PSA 10, pop count of only 101. On September 8th, had a sell for $200, and August 26th had a sell for $125. So these stats will be of his entire career. He had 240 total career home runs, career batting average of .317. That's pretty insane. Batting average of .317. He played 18 years from 1955 until 1972. What a great batting average and career he had. 1987, Nolan Ryan, PSA 10, pop count of only 503. That actually is very surprising. I know it's not a rookie card, but I mean, for it being, supposedly junk wax era and pop count for PSA 10 only being 503, and as popular as Nolan Ryan was, that's pretty impressive. September 3rd had a sell for PSA 10 for only $190. Also, another sell on September 3rd for $179. Nolan Ryan had a whip that year year for 1.139. HR over 9, home runs allowed throughout 9 innings, .6. He played from 1966 until 1993, totaling an amazing 27 years. Like, I remember being a kid, following him, watching him. Like, we wanted the Nolan Ryan cards, you know, it was very popular, but I didn't realize he played that long. Like, I thought it was 20 years, maybe 22, but when I saw he was like total 27 years, absolutely insane. How many athletes you know can play even 20 years, let alone the dude played 27 years pitching? Absolutely insane. Definitely tip my hat to Nolan Ryan and all the years he gave to baseball. Next up for 1987 baseball, Don Mattingly, PSA 10, pop count of only 277. PSA 10 sold on August 28th for $100. August 5th, 2025, PSA 10 sold for $102. That year in 1987, he had 30 home runs with a batting average of .327. He played from 1982 to 1995, totaling 14 years. Some of these next cards for 1987 Donruss baseball. It was hard to find cards in PSA 10 selling for over $100, but here we have Eric Davis, PSA 10, pop count of only 65. PSA 10 sold on August 23rd, 2025 for $100, and on August 19th, PSA 10 sold for $45. That year, he had 37 home runs with a batting average of .293. He played from 1984 until 2001 for a total of 17 years in his career. Ryan Sandberg, PSA 10, pop count of only 192. On July 29th, PSA 10 sold for $116, and on July 20th, 2025, PSA 10 sold for $50. He had 16 home runs that year with a batting average of .294. He played from 1981 until 1997 with a grand total in his career of 16 years. These last two will be our two honorable mentions. This is a Barry Larkin rookie card for the 1987 Donruss. Does not have the rated rookie logo, but this is one of his rookie cards. PSA 10 pop count of 1,352. On September 21st, 2025, PSA 10 sold for $52. On September 13th, PSA 10 sold for $32. He had only 12 home runs that year with a batting average of .244. He played from 1986 until 2004 with a grand total of 19 years. And amazingly, he played all 19 years with the Cincinnati Reds. And our last card, an honorable mention, will be the Will Clark rookie card for the 1987 Donruss. Again, does not have the rated rookie logo, but this is one of his rookie cards. PSA 10, pop count of only 640. On September 4th, 2025, PSA 10 sold for $40. August 31st, 25, PSA 10 sold for $90. That rookie year, he had 35 home runs with a batting average of .308. Will Clark played from 1986 until 2000, totaling 15 years, and he played for 4 different teams. All right, guys, we got some cards here. Going to show you for some packs we've opened up from the 1987 Donruss box. Saved 8 packs we'll open together, but didn't want it to be super duper long video, so go through kind of what we've gotten so far, and then we'll open up those 8 packs. So just kind of pick 3 random cards. Just want to show you kind of these black borders. I mean, they're nice, but you can kind of see that they end up being really hard to grade on the edges because of the black border. So these ones I didn't sleeve. Like right here, you got a little corner. I do like the black border, but you can probably tell there's like a white line, edge line on that card. It'd be really hard to get a PSA 10 in these. And then these ones were some guys I thought it's like something funny about them. So here's Leon Bip Roberts. So you could see his like nickname in there. Kind of funny nickname, I thought. Oil Can Boyd. Thought that one was pretty funny. His real name is Dennis Ray Boyd. I don't think you see a lot of times like nicknames of players on cards these days. Jim Morrison. Not the Doors lead singer, Jim Morrison. But, and then this guy, Ron Karkovich. This guy's like, I think 27 or something, or mid-20s. And he looks like he's like 70 years old. I think it's pretty funny how old this guy looks. So I thought that was pretty funny. It's like the oldest young guy like you'll ever see. I'm like, man, is that a grandpa playing? So I thought that was pretty funny. How about some related players in the MLB? So here's King Griffey Sr., obviously the pops of King Griffey Jr. That was cool. He played for the Braves. How about Willie Upshaw? Any guys that are Raiders fans should know and remember Gene Upshaw. This is the cousin of Gene Upshaw, Willie Upshaw. Thought that was pretty cool. Mike Maddox, he is the brother of Greg Maddox, who played back then. Mike Witt, he's the brother of Bobby Witt and also the uncle of Bobby Witt Jr. Thought that one was kind of cool. And then how about Bobby Witt Sr., the father of current baseball player Bobby Witt Jr. So those were some related baseball players. That was kind of neat. All right, let's get into some rookies. Not like big rookies, but look at some of these real quick. Devin White, Jim Lindman, Jerry Brown, Pat Dodson, Mike Burbeck, Greg Swindle. These all got the rated rookie logos. Love those rated rookies, especially back in the old school days. Eric Bell, BJ Surhoff, Bruce Fields, Doug Drabeck. Don't have the rated rookie because back then they didn't always pick all rookies to have the rated rookie. They would pick like a certain amount. So there'd be rookies that would come in the Major League Baseball that didn't have the rated rookie logos. Dave Cohen, another rookie. All right, next up, how about some Diamond Kings action here? Steve Sachs, Jack Morris, Rick Rhoden, Kevin McReynolds, Ted Herrera, Charlie Hugh, Keith Moreland, Kevin McReynolds again, Burke Jacoby. This was a 26 card set, I believe. Steve Sachs, Jim Presley, Eric Davis. This one has a little, I don't know if you can see it, but the little white corner there was centered pretty nice. That has like a little white corner, so definitely not going to get a 10 on that. How about Dave Winfield? Another white edge up here. Del Murphy. Kirby Puckett, definitely not centered. Little white edging up there. Another Kirby Puckett, definitely not centered. And another Kirby Puckett, definitely not centered. So those are the Diamond Kings we've got so far. All right, next up, how about 1987 American League MVP George Bell, World Series MVP Frank Viola, Eddie Murray, Dave Henderson. Tried to pick some of the better cards or well-known players out of this. Dave Winfield, Del Murphy, George Brett. That was actually not a bad card. Top to bottom, centering is messed up, but left to right's pretty good. How about Ozzie Smith, Mr. Backflip dude? Another Ozzie Smith. Reggie Jackson, when he played for the Angels. That one's actually centered pretty good. Pretty good shape. How about rest in peace, one of the GOATs, Ricky Henderson. Kirby Puckett. One's got a little messed up corner there, but Tony Gwynn. Jose Canseco. Eric Davis. One's actually not too bad. Another Eric Davis. How about one of the pitching GOATs, Nolan Ryan, if not the pitching GOAT? Crazy how long he played in the Major League. And another Nolan Ryan. Definitely not PSA 10s. Might be a couple in there where the centering's right. But so far, most of the cards I've got definitely not centered good. All right, a little bit better rookies here. Rafael Palomero. Another Rafael Palomero. Barry Larkin, again, not the rated rookie logo, but this is one of his rookie cards. How about one of the GOATs, Barry Bonds? This one's actually pretty, well, centering's not the best, but, you know, better than some of the other cards. Then how about Mark McGwire? Centering not the best, but pretty cool rookie card for Mark McGwire and rookie card of Barry Bonds. And then we have this Roberto Clemente. This was the puzzle card piece for when you get your puzzle pieces in a pack. So you'd get these puzzle pieces. So you get enough of these puzzle pieces and then you can make up the puzzle of this card. Robert Clemente. Quick fun one. This was like a miscut that was put in there. I thought was kind of funny. All right, let's open some cards up here. All right, got the last packs of this box. 1987 Donruss. We will open these packs together, see if we get anything nice. Thought it was 8, might be a few more. Yep, 8. So we have not got our favorite player, Bo Jackson, rookie. So that's the one we're hoping we get in this. Give us a nice Bo Jackson, 1987, rated rookie. That would be nice. Alright, so had a camera glitch, so I opened all these and then tried to upload the video to edit it, and it messed up. But I'll show you guys. It's the box. Just show you the cards that I opened. Nothing too crazy, but a couple checklists here. And then some puzzle pieces for the Roberto Clemente puzzle. Alright, I'll show you the cards we hit or got. Tim Raines, Kelly Gruber. I'm not going to read all these names. Brooke Jacoby, Romero, Mickey Hatcher, Tony, Andy Hawkins, Bob Brower, Wally Joyner, Phil Bradley, Drew Hall, Jim Morris, John Denny, Bob Stanley, Steve Lake, Harold Reynolds, Vince Coleman, Raphael, Pedro Guerrero, Bruce Ruffin, Dave Collins, Jose Guzman, Jerry Noron, Tom Seaver, it's actually not a bad card, Darren Dalton, Ted Simmons, Denny Walling, Randy Bush, Dan Plesac, Rod Scurry, Bob Ojeda, Tommy Herr, Gene Walter, Darrell Evans, Phil Duran, Dave Bergman, Dave Smith, Ed, Jim Trevor, Terry McGriff. Alright, next stack of cards. Johnny Grubb, Mike Morgan, Tommy Herr, Eric King, Gary Templeton, Darnell Coles, Steve Carlton, Tom Foley, Pat Clements, Jim Dreyer, Scott Fletcher, Ozzie Virgil, Rafael Santana, Bobby Gritch, Rudy Law, Ken Howell, Tony Pena, Jay Howell, Bob Horner, Walt Terrell, Mark Langston, Davey Lopes, Carney Langsford, Jim Acker, Ozzie Virgil, Ed Carrera, Ron Darling, Sid Beam, Randy O'Neill, Dave Leeper, Ed Widston, Carlton Fisk, Don Slott, Byron Smith, Pete Ladd, Pat Perry, Ron Oyster, Marvin Freeman, Chet Lemon, Roger McDowell, Terry Pule, Ron Russell, Jeff Lahey, Mark, John Shelby, Leon Durham. There's some other cards we got. There's a little bit nicer ones. Greg Swindle, rookie. Randy Myers, rookie. Doug Jerbeck, it's actually a rookie of him. Chris James, Roger Clemens, Diamond Kings. Greg Walker, Darryl Strawberry, Lloyd Mosby, Keith Moreland, George Bell, Dave Stewart, Willie McGee, Kirby Puckett, Roger Clemens, Mike Schmidt. All right, last stack of cards. Put these in the top loader. First up, we got Don Mattingly. It's actually not a bad card centered. Jose Canseco. Thought that was pretty cool. I don't have that card. John Kruk. That's actually a rookie card. Bobby Bonilla. It's his rookie card as well. And then Will Clark. His rookie card as well. Alright guys, what do you guys think? Hit some okay cards for $100? Thank you guys for watching this video and staying tuned in. Put a lot of hard work into this video, a lot of hours. This is actually the longest video of hours I've put in editing. So please make sure you guys like, share, subscribe. It means a lot to me, and try to do more like this in the future when I can. Just wanted to do this video a little bit differently, give you guys a little history from 1987 baseball. 1987 baseball is definitely one of the best years of baseball cards you can buy. So when people say, yeah, that's part of the junk wax era, I'm gonna, respectfully disagree. And I think 1987 baseball is highly underrated, and there's a lot of great cards, great rookies in here, some all-stars. You can find a lot of value, whether you want to buy a box or if you're looking for one of these PSA 10s. They're great looking cards with a black border. If you can find a PSA 10, some of these PSA 10s you can get for literally the cost of a modern sports card box, whether it's baseball, basketball, football. Most of these PSA 10s are less than a lot of these boxes of modern cards. Some of these you could buy 2 of these PSA 10s for some of these box prices. But appreciate you guys. Hopefully you guys like a little bit of history lesson, doing things a little bit different, and hopefully you guys appreciate how much work I put into this. Thank you for tuning in to Hardcore Card Collecting.